back burner. Sophie Cunningham comes back from injury, you throw Lexie Hull to the back burner. If you think Lexie Hull and her agent are not thinking about this, you have another thing coming. And if you think you are going to be able to get Lexie Hull back for dirt cheap, you have lost your mentals.
Lexie Hull felt broken, betrayed, and blindsided in front of the entire world. And the reason was that the WNBA commissioner and even her own coach decided she no longer fit their plan, but what they did not expect.
Fever cannot afford to lose. I've been preaching on that. I've been telling y'all, Lexie Hull is a big part of the system. I feel like we need to focus on keeping her by any means necessary. The article goes on to say, after coming within a single win of reaching the WNBA Finals, the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark stood up and said, "You cannot do this, not to her and not to my teammate," because this time she was not just fighting for herself but for Lexie, for her team, and for the truth the WNBA tried to hide. And before we continue, do you think Lexie Hull deserves better? Comment stand with Lexie below and press the like button as we reveal what is really happening in Indiana. It began with a decision that shocked everyone when Lexie Hull, one of the hardest working players on the Indiana Fever, was suddenly benched and then warned live on TV that she was out of the rotation. Her face showed disbelief, pain, and humiliation. Fans were angry and kept asking why her. Why target a player who has given everything for her team? And behind-the-scenes sources say this was not about performance but about politics, as the WNBA wanted to control Caitlin Clark and the easiest way to weaken her.
Straight up disrespected her. They acted as if Lexie Hull was not a part of the core four who helped turn this team around. It wasn't just CCAB and Kelsey. No, Lexie Hull was a huge part of that.
It began by cutting the people closest to her, as Lexie Hull and Caitlin Clark shared real chemistry on and off the court and always supported each other. But the league saw that unity and power as a threat. So Caitlin's circle slowly shrank with teammates being cut, ignored, and pushed aside while the commissioner and certain executives acted like nothing was wrong. Yet Caitlin noticed the pattern. And when Lexie became the next target, she reached her limit, saying behind closed doors that she was not going anywhere and that if Lexie was cut everything would be lost. Words that echoed through the locker room and left even the staff stunned. Not as a threat but as a promise, because Caitlin Clark understands her value as the face of the league. The reason fans watch, buy tickets, and tune in every night. And still the WNBA treated her teammates as if they were disposable, leading her to question why those who support her were being punished. But no one had an answer.
Stephanie White got here. Stephanie White came to the Indiana Fever and straight up disregarded everything Lexie Hull did the year before. You came in, you brought DeWanna the Scammer Bonner. You started her, she 59 and a half years old in her 38th WNBA season. You decide to start her, give her a max contract, and throw Lexie Hull to the back burner. You think Lexie Hull don't remember that? You think Lexie don't remember that? All of a sudden, DeWanna Bonner quits on the team. She's no
Scene 4, the breaking news moment. Reports began leaking about a plan from the front office to restructure the Fever roster before the 2026 expansion draft. It sounded professional, but insiders said it was personal. Stephanie White, the coach, allegedly clashed with Caitlin Clark multiple times over team control. And when Lexie defended Caitlin during a heated practice, she was labeled a distraction. A player who stood for loyalty suddenly became a problem, and the commissioner turned a blind eye. Then came the game everyone saw, Lexie Hull sitting on the bench, eyes full of tears, cameras zooming in, the announcer's voice cracking. It seems like something's going on with the Fever bench. The tension, betrayal, and silence were palpable. Caitlin Clark turned stone-faced. She knew. After the game, she didn't hold back. "I'm not okay with what's happening. You can't treat players like that." That sentence broke the internet, and hashtag Justice for Lexie trended within hours. Fans flooded UNBA pages demanding answers. Why was the commissioner silent? Why was the coach still in charge? For the first time, even WNBA owners questioned leadership because the truth was spreading. This wasn't about basketball anymore. It was about control, over who speaks, who shines, and who survives. When media asked Caitlin what comes next, she looked straight at the camera. "I don't care about their politics. I care about my team," and Lexie is part of that team. The line hit like a bomb. Behind the scenes, executives panicked. Sponsors demanded answers. Networks called for explanations. Because when Caitlin Clark speaks, the world listens. Now the world knows what's been happening behind those locker room doors. So what did Stephanie White do? She threw Lexie Hull to the back burner again, and
you do. What did Stephanie White do, y'all? Threw Lexie Hull to the back burner again and benched her. For no apparent reason. And I'm going to show you, because I remember the cluster of games where I'm looking, I'm like, damn, Lexie not getting no minutes. She's not getting any minutes. This cluster of games right here. Lexie Hull, she played 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 14 minutes.
The commissioner tried to control the narrative with press statements, PR posts, and fake smiles, but the damage was done. You cannot silence authenticity, heart, or Lexie Hull's real tears, and you certainly cannot silence Caitlin Clark when she fights for justice. Sources say the WNBA front office is under heavy pressure from ownership to explain their decisions. With rumors of major internal reviews, and even possible removal of officials who fueled the chaos. Caitlin is focused, angry, and more powerful than ever because now everyone knows that if you go after her team, you go after her. At her last press conference, she left with one line fans won't forget. They can't break us. Not now. Not ever. Lexie stood beside her, tears still in her eyes, but this time smiling, knowing she wasn't alone. What do you think? Should the WNBA apologize to Lexie Hull and Caitlin Clark for this treatment? Comment protect Caitlin and Lexie. If you stand with them, hit like, subscribe for more truth-telling stories, and share this video so people see what's really happening behind the scenes.